All right, welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name's Jimmy.
I'm Tim.
I'm Rod.
And today we're looking at Star Wars Rebellion. This is another Star Wars game put out by Fantasy Flight. This plays 2 people. You could stretch it to 4 if you had to. It's one side of the table versus the other side of the table in the Galactic Enterprise. Galactic Empire Rebellion fight.
Exactly.
Yes, okay. So let's take a look and see what you get in the box.
Let's do it.
Okay, so this is what you get in the box. Rod, let's talk components.
So components. I mean, you guys can just see. I mean, it's just a million components.
A million.
I mean, there's
Close.
so many things from the Super Star Destroyer to the regular Star Destroyer to the Death Stars to the
Death Star's in progress.
to the what were these called? They're just the
Orbital defense
Oh,
gun.
exactly. And then these were the what?
Exactly.
What were these?
Shield generator.
Exactly, the shell generators. But we have anything and everything you can think of from the movies, and they're basically
They even got
here.
the Montgomery.
Exactly.
Battlecruisers.
See, he knows exactly. So, Fantasy Flight, what can we say? They do a great job at this. They give us some great miniatures. Really, when it's set up on the board and everything, and you have the pictures of the guys and so on. And,
Which is artwork, not just like shots from the movies.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just fantastic. So, all of it I like. I mean, all of it's great level. The only thing that I have any problem with is the map board itself. I love the size of it.
Yeah, it's
I
huge.
love all the cards and everything. It can be a little small for us people who have reading glasses, but all of it's fine. It's just the board itself is kind of boring. I don't know what it is about it. It just does not pop the way I thought it would. Of course, with the miniatures and everything on there, it's really cool. But when it comes to the planets and stuff, all in all, it's about a 95% if I had a 1 to 100 scale of doing just a fantastic job. The only problem, like I said, is just when it comes to the planets and the map board. But I love the size of it and everything. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, when I first saw it, I was thinking Risk, And
Yeah.
so, I just thought, it's going to be like that, but the miniatures, all that. So,
Yeah.
Okay, Tim, tell us about rules. How hard or easy is it to learn the game?
So it's a Fantasy Flight game. So that means that you're going to have the 2 rule books, the learn to play and the rule reference.
Thank you.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Because the rule reference always comes with an index, so you can look up stuff, which will happen just occasionally in this game because some of the mission cards and stuff have stuff on it. But the learn to play rule does a great job taking step by step and showing you all these beautiful pictures inside the rule book. So anytime it talks about something, you know exactly what it's talking about. And because you sit down in a game like this and you look at it when you first pull it out of the box, you're like,
It's intimidating.
There's no way I'm going to learn this game. But then it just takes you step by step through each one of the components and then right into the turn sequence, so that you can play your first game and you learn it, and then all of a sudden you're playing it. And once you start playing it, you realize it's actually simple mechanics just based around a certain type of game. So it's not that difficult. And then of course it's got the quick reference on the back, which is great because that's what you leave face up while you're playing on the game.
Just follow it through.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so let's talk about the gameplay so that you can figure out if this is a game that's going to work for you and your gaming group. So at the beginning, we said that this is like a 2-player game, right? So somebody's going to be the Rebels, somebody's going to be the Imperials, and you sit opposing each other. There is a way to play 4 people, so you're going to have like a captain and I forget what the term is, captain and co-pilot or something.
Well, just basically the general and admiral. Or
General, admiral, yeah, that's the term. Yeah, so and then you would work in tandem with each other, but in essence, it's really just a 2-player game where 2 people are going to sit across from each other. And so at the beginning of the game, you're going to get some leaders, right? And here's the basic. We're not going to go over everything because it is a complicated game, and there's a whole lot to it that you'll get into as you play. But the basic premise of the game is that each person is going to have leaders that they are going to be able to assign during the game. So if you are the Rebels, Rebels, you're going to have the famous ones, and you're going to have all these people, like Leia and Luke and Chewie and Han and all of those people that you're going to have on your side. And then on your turn at the beginning, you're going to basically assign them to do certain things. So you're going to have these action cards in your hand, and then you're going to be able to place them around the map. And so if I've got a leader, like I've got the princess here, I would say that I'm going to send her to Naboo, right? And so on this leader, they have special abilities, right? So they've got these abilities, like the little icons that are just like, I don't know what they all are. I don't know the technical term for them, but you got the eyeball and the yellow thing and the fist. It's very technical here. And so you're going to place a leader out here, and basically that leader is bent towards these certain things. They're going to be stronger, be able to do certain things. And then there's going to be action cards that require that leader's ability to be able to play them. And so you place that leader out on the field, then the opposer would be able to say, okay, well, I'm not going to just let you have that, whatever you want to do in Naboo, so I'm going to send somebody to oppose you. And so I'm going to send him out, and then he's going to try to fight you. And then there would be combat that would ensue, and then you would play that out. And so the main idea for the Imperials is that you are on the hunt for the rebel base, right? So you're looking for the rebel base. And so if you ever move into a sector, right? So you move your ships into a sector, and then you put troops on the ground in a planet where the rebel base is, the rebel is going to have to say, hey, that's where my rebel base is at. And then it's your job then as the Imperials to extinguish what's happening there. So you're totally getting rid of them. If you do that, you win. The Rebels, on the other hand, their whole job during the game is to try to speed up time and to accomplish goals. So there's a track on this side of the board that basically is a time track, and it tells you what's going to happen every single round. So at the end of each round, you're going to be deploying units out onto the field, and so like the Imperials would be placing them here, and then the Rebels will be placing things here, and then as each turn goes by, you're going to be moving these down closer and closer till it gets off the board, and then you're able to place those troops. It's a really cool mechanic because you can see what's coming for you, what's coming up. They might have a Death Star that's being built in 3, and then 2, it's, and then it comes off the board, and then when it comes off the board, he can place it wherever he wants, and then when that thing's out, watch out, because it can destroy entire planets, right, and obliterate them. And so it's this back and forth of the rebels trying to hide, trying to sabotage, trying to do missions. And so the way that you would do that, as the Imperials, you don't know what their mission is, but you just wonder why he sent Princess Leia over there. Why is he deploying troops over there? You don't know. And so sometimes, because you don't have enough leaders, you kind of let him do whatever he wants to do over there because you're busy trying to take care of something else. And you have no idea that that's part of his objective, that he needs to get so many troops over here or destroy a Star Destroyer or do something, whatever his thing is. And as he does that, it moves the time track closer and closer to you. And so at the beginning of the game, the Imperials are going to feel like they have total control, total dominance, and the Rebels are going to feel like they can't do anything. But then the Rebels slowly work their way down the Imperials and speed up time and accomplish missions. And so that's how it plays back and forth. Ultimately, Imperials trying to find the base, Rebels trying to survive. Okay, so in our reviews, we like to do a simple one-die rating. Should you buy it, play it, or hate it? So green means go buy this game and add it to your collection. White means maybe you wouldn't buy it, but you definitely play it. And then red means you wouldn't buy it and you wouldn't play it because you hate it. So here we go. I'll get our review.
Look at what
I was.
Here we go.
And it's a white.
Oh,
but it's Star Wars, Rod. You got to give it a grade.
That's the reason it's not a red.
Oh, wow. Okay, so let's talk about our ratings on the game and why you would give it a red/white.
I just had to give it a red, but there was a possibility I would have.
Okay.
Who would go first? Me?
Yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
So one thing about the game, so automatically why it's not a green is because you own it. And there's a big factor to that. It's an expensive game. It's not going to get to the table much.
So if you got a buddy.
If you got a buddy who has the funds.
Let him buy it.
So it's just not going to make it to the table much, especially as a 2-player game. That really kills it. I don't think it functions well as anything more than that. So
it's just hard to cooperatively not give stuff away.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I think functioning as a 4-player game just doesn't. I don't see how that even works. I didn't try it, but I don't think it would work well. So it's a 2-player game. It's a long game, and so those are two things that kind of hurt it. And then, I mean, it just to me, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of bad stuff on this, but it's just can be an advanced risk game. I mean, it really can be. You know, just how I feel.
Just advanced.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
But it is Star Wars, so.
And you would play it if.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because one of my things is I love like looking at a game after it's all, you know, when you got everything kind of set up and when you're trying to build a strategy and just looking out there amongst all these different. I mean, you got all these different miniatures stuff. Everything represents something. So it's pretty cool. It just has a cool effect. And I love looking out on a board that's just full of stuff, and you have to try to figure out what strategy you're going to use. But it's white. Yeah, it's a white.
It's a white.
Yeah.
What about you, Tim? Why is this a white?
Well, I give it a white because I mean it's solid mechanics. It's a solid game. It's got great components and everything. But honestly, it was too stressful playing as the rebellion, whatever. It was because you're sitting there and you know that like at any point, like he's just going to look at the right planet and he's going to pick the right planet and then he's going to blow up the base, whatever, and you realize you got nothing to stop him and everything, and all you're doing is he's playing these little missions to move this little timer down. And it's super stressful, and it's 3 to 4 hours of stress. And to me, that it drops it down to a white, whatever.
You just can't take it.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Dang it.
Stressful.
Stressful.
That's a good one, but that works, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I agree with that part of it, but I understand.
Yeah.
Definitely understand.
Well, for me, I gave it a green because I just loved everything about it. Like, okay, I totally get what you're saying. It's going to take 4 hours to play. It's only a 2-player game. But I feel like when it does hit the table, I feel like it's going to be... It's so immersive to me. Like I felt like out of all the Star Wars games that I've played, I felt like, okay, I'm actually the Imperials. I'm actually looking for them, and I feel like I'm so in control. And this is so easy, and I could blow up your planet if I want to. And I've got Star Destroyers coming, and I've got all this stuff, all this power. I'm sending out all these leaders, and then the little rebellion guys are doing their little thing over there. What are they doing? And then when they do something, and you're like, oh, now I understand why. Like it totally felt like the movies do, where the rebellion is just the little guy. And it was so annoying, when you're trying to find them and you just know exactly this is where they're at, because why did he put all those people over there? And it was just a big distraction, and then there's these probe cards that come out every single round. And so this big universe is getting smaller and smaller because you're wearing down where he could be. So this cat and mouse game is getting tighter and tighter. And so when it comes to the end of the game, especially when you're just a couple rounds left, like it just feels so intense because you're like, I gotta find him, and then you put all your eggs in this basket to go over here and he's not there, or he is there. Like that, to me, I don't know, I felt like it played so well near the end. And so even though everything you said is true, it's going to take a long time, how often are you going to play it? I feel like when I do play it, I'm just confident I'm going to walk away with a great experience.
Right.
Okay, so that's our review of Star Wars Rebellion. Check us out on our website, BoardGameCloset.com. We've got a lot more reviews and all that stuff. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Like our videos, subscribe. It helps us out so much.
And support your local hobby shop.
Boom.
Boom.